this is on November ballot, I believe, thinking ahead. What is the Taxpayer Protection Act that you come out against, I believe, that may not be on people's radar, but it's going to be one of those very controversial issues. Can you take like a minute to explain what the Taxpayer Protection Act is and what your opposition is to it?
So it is a act that is a ballot measure that was put on the ballot by collecting signatures, and it essentially says that in order to pass a new tax, and local governments here in the state of California have relatively few sources of revenue, and we, in order to find some of these additional revenues. This is not unique to Los Angeles. This is every city across California have passed things like sales taxes, like Measure H, which we all voted for, which provides hundreds of millions of dollars for homeless services, or other kinds of transfer taxes in order to fund things that our regular budgets aren't able to fund. What this Taxpayer Protection Act says is that in order to pass those taxes, you would have to get over 2/3 of the vote in order to pass them.
Yeah.
As opposed to from residents.
Okay.
Yes.
So it makes it harder,
right now
it makes it harder to raise new taxes.
Yes. So like Measure ULA.
So why is
Measure
that?
B.
So why do you oppose that idea?
So we've actually generated new sources of revenue for things that our county and city government haven't been able to fund, like homeless services, or like building new homeless housing. Any of the progress that we've been able to make on these issues has really come about.
Has not required 2/3.
Has not required 2/3 and has come from these transfer taxes, which are usually like a small increase to your sales tax or something like that. And for me, that preserving that ability to have it happen through a 51% vote rather than a 66% vote is, I think it's important. Otherwise, we will continue. I said the big difference, for example, on the issue of homelessness is that we don't have enough shelter beds, right? Shelter beds are entirely funded at the local level. The federal government doesn't fund it. We will not be able to get people off the streets, even in the short term, if we can't find funding for additional shelter through these kinds of efforts. And I think it really limits our capacity to act on the very big problems that we have, given the constraints that we face at the local level.
Have you spent any time looking at this issue?
Yeah.
I have a feeling you might have a different viewpoint.
Yeah, I'm going to say something controversial right now. Your taxes are too damn high. And it is so frustrating to me because for so many politicians, the answer to all of our problems is give us more money. And when I look at our city budget's never been higher. Our county budget's never been higher. Our state budget's never been higher. And to look at that situation and say, you know what the problem is? We need more money, I think is outrageous. Yeah. And I make a commitment to you. I will never ask you to raise your taxes unless I can look you in the eye and tell you honestly, our city is spending your money well. And I'm not holding my breath for that day to ever come.